In this video, we're about to show you how much video streaming affects the environment. The biggest effect we as consumers have on the environment is the greenhouse gas emissions. One of them is carbon dioxide. Its molecules in the atmosphere are warming up our planet through the phenomenon called the greenhouse effect. But how is our video streaming affecting the amount of those carbon emissions? In recent years, there was a substantial increase in viewing streamed video, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. The video streaming itself happens in a few steps, each producing its carbon emissions. The video streaming starts in data centers, which store and encode video and start the delivery through content delivery networks. Then, transmission begins. Through various types of networks, the data finds a way to our home terminals, routers or peripherals. It finally arrives to our device in mere seconds. Here is how much of the emissions is accounted to each of these steps. As we can see, the most comes from our viewing device. Interestingly, since 2016, data centers have increased their workload by a whopping 550%, while their energy use has increased by only 6%. That is because of the innovations in software and hardware they use. Companies such as Google, which own YouTube, set a good example of decarbonizing their business and advocating green energy. That might lead to both ICT and entertainment and media sectors being less carbon intensive. We as consumers can't have much effect on companies and their handling of carbon emissions, but our device choice can greatly affect the carbon emissions on our side. In this example, we can choose to stream on our smartphone, tablet, laptop, or 50-inch LED TV. Here is how much of carbon is released by watching an hour of streamed video. To compare, here are emissions of boiling a kettle. This shows us that on the consumer level, we can contribute to our environment by choosing a more energy-efficient device. But the environmental impact of video streaming can be drastically reduced by using green energy and decarbonized electrical grids. Example of this is Sweden, which in comparison to Germany has far less carbon emissions. Here is an example of carbon emissions for streaming 1 hour of video on 50-inch LED TV. So it is up to our governments to switch to more green energy from renewable sources. The future is uncertain, but there are speculations of 5G networks being more energy efficient, and our viewing habits might lean more towards less carbon-intensive devices. With all that we've learned, it should be our collective effort to reduce the carbon emissions and make our planet healthier for the future generations.